If you think that the African unity is a far-fetched thing, well, just pause because that's wrong. The three Sahel states, namely Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, have just disproved that because they are on the road of unity. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent and giving you that Pan-African perspective for everything that's happening in the continent and globally that affects us Africans. Hi, so this is really a good news from Africa, from West Africa particularly, and this is a platform as well, Connect Africa, is that brings you what you don't see on the mainstream media, because this is a good thing happening in the continent. Now, let's go into it. What happened in these revolutionary states that never cease to amaze us on daily basis? Okay, as usual, I am going to go and share my slides. This is how I like to give analysis or a discussion, to make a discussion here, because I want to give you that background. I'm not here for a click and bait. I want to give you a historical background and what kind of things happen in the process, and what's going to happen in the future. So basically, you are really, if you are familiar to Connect Africa, if you're a member of Connect Africa, you are very much familiar of these faces, the Burkina Faso of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the Niger General Abdurrahman Tihiani, and of the Mali leader, Colonel Assim Goita. These are the revolutionary leaders. Now they are going to unify their countries to form a federation because they want to benefit that things that they get from unity, from economy, in terms of defense and others, also socio-culturally for their own interests of the nation. Now, basically, these are the three countries, okay, geographically: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Okay, these are the countries that are going to form the unity. Now, I always like to bring the research questions, so based on that, I'm going to analyze for you. So what are the questions? What happened really exactly? What is the historical background that, and then what are the prospects that led to this major decision by these revolutionary leaders in West Africa? And then what is next? And also, finally, I will pose a question for you. What do you think of it, and others? Okay. So what happened? What happened is there's a new alliance where the ministers of these countries, where they emphasized the importance of diplomacy, defense, and development to consolidate political and economic integration between these three countries. They have been through a lot. They have been fighting neo-colonialism, which is extended by France, their former colonizer. So they have been fighting that, and they have expelled everything that is, that is the remnants of France. Now, what did they do, these ministers? The foreign ministers of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger recommended on December 1st, creating a confederation as part of a long-term goal of uniting the West African neighbors within a federation. So the top diplomats of these countries, of the Alliance of Sahel States, met. Where did they meet? In Bamako for 2 days, and they have discussed this, and also they have put what's going to happen next. Okay, now I want to give you a historical background. Okay, what is this something new that happened at this time, in our time? Not really. For your surprise, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, their ancestors, right after independence, those revolutionary leaders that have been removed and assassinated by the French government, have tried this federation. Actually, their ancestors have tried it. So it's history repeats itself. That's why I called it. And it was, this federation used to be called the Mali Federation. Okay, this used to be their flag, and these are the countries. Actually, it was the Burkina Faso government that proposed at that time to form this federation. So it includes, all West African states, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, I think around 11 or 12 countries in here we have to form that federation. But again, anything that is about the African unity is not wanted. So it has been also the African countries and also the French government, their colonizer, did not allow it. So they kind of dismantled this. So what is Mali Federation? I want to read something for you. So this Mali Federation, it was a federation in West Africa linking the French colonies of Senegal and the Sudanese Republic at that time, called French Sudan, for 2 months in 1960. So it was founded on 4 April 1959 as a territory with a self-rule within the French community, meaning in West Africa where France was colonizing them, and became independent after negotiation with France on 20 June 1960. 2 months later, on 19 August 1960, the Sudanese Republic leaders in the Mali Federation, which is the French Sudan, mobilized the army, and Senegal leaders in the federation retaliated by mobilizing the gendarmerie, meaning the national police. Now, this resulted in a tense standoff between these countries and led to the withdrawal from the federation by Senegal. Okay, Senegal again, betraying. Senegal is also active when ECOWAS wanted to intervene militarily in Niger. So now this is Senegal withdraw from it. So for the brief existence for 2 months, the Mali Federation the premier was Modibo Keita, who became later the first president of Mali. Now this government was based actually in Dakar, so the eventual capital of Senegal. So that is, for your question, in case you are wondering what is Mali Federation. Now let's go, let's continue. Now, so what has been done so far, meaning these are the prospects that led to this major decision. There are a number of things that these leaders, revolutionary leaders, they have sacrificed, they have put their lives and they have, imposed, kind of forced their nation, the sanction of the aid and everything. They have sacrificed a lot. So just to chronologically to mention what happened before that led to this major decision. For example, Burkina Faso, Mali have if the military intervention, as you know, there was a coup, as the mainstream calls it, but the revolution happened in Niger in July, specifically July 26 this year. Now, when ECOWAS, the Economic Community of Western African States, threatened Niger to militarily intervene in Niger, by the way, backed by France and the United States, then these two leaders came in front, and then they say any intervention in Niger would be declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali. So that's what they did. And then again, what has been done is, so this is what they said, an attack, basically, this is what describes it. An attack on one is an attack on the other, on another, meaning Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. So these are the things in their joint statements, the governments. This happened in August, by the way. The governments of Burkina Faso and Mali warned that any military intervention against Niger would be a tantamount to a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali. The second thing they said is that disastrous consequence of military intervention in Niger could destabilize the entire region. Exactly. So now these two countries, they said they refuse to apply the illegal, illegitimate, and inhuman sanctions against the people and the authorities of Niger, because the whole European Union, the United States, even including the African Union, the ECOWAS, all of them have sanctioned this country, Niger. But guess who was there really to help the people of Niger? It was these countries again. Burkina Faso actually sent two times a two-round, full of food aid, the trucks. With the first round, 300 trucks. Second round, around 270 trucks they have sent to Niger with full of aid needed to the people of Niger. So this happened in August this year. And then on August 75, they created, they have lended their diplomacy and military assistance to the people of Niger and to the government of Niger. And so the Niger's military junta announced that Burkina Faso and Mali have pledged their support to the leader who took power in Niger last month. Okay, now again, other prospects that have led to this decision is all these countries have expelled the French military, the French army from their country. That is a way to achieve true independence. Change of government by itself, it doesn't do anything. Again, that government will fall into the hands of those military, the government that has military in that country, because the security of that country basically is in the control of these colonizers who have their army bases in this country, such as the French army, the European Union, various European countries had army bases in this country. So they all have expelled after they have, changed their government. And guess what? They all have expelled the French ambassadors who have been working for the continued neo-colonization of France against these countries. So yeah, this is Burkina Faso, this is Mali. In Mali, the French ambassador, and this is the last one, the French ambassador in Niger. Now, another thing that they have done is they said they have, if you are familiar, there is right after their independence, France actually didn't leave, maybe physically, even physically they didn't leave, because they have their army, their consul and everything, their media, their NGOs there. So what they have done is they cut their ties. And also there is this called the colonial tax treaty that France forced 14 African countries, it's called colonial tax treaty. It has 11 components in it, and it deprives of the sovereignty of the financial, the economic, the security, name it, everything. So they kind of deprived all this from these countries. So basically these countries are not independent, although they have been independent by paper. So if you really look at this prospect, these processes, these steps, these countries really have been paving the way to lead to this major decision to say we are going to form a unity. And what are you going to do? Okay, so I mean, any analyst who have been following the steps that have been taken by these countries would not be surprised, if these countries now pass this statement saying that they are going to form a unity. Now, another thing, what happened in these countries is that in September of this year, they have signed a major security alliance. It's called the Alliance of Sahel States. This is in French, it's l'Alliance des États du Sahel. And in English, it's called the Alliance of Sahel States. So AES or ISS. So now this pact, this military or security pact, established the Alliance of the Sahel States and aims actually to create a framework of collective defense and mutual assistance among these nations. So that's the major things that happened. Now again in September, end of September, another major action has been taken by these countries, a very exemplar one. If you all remember, Niger, despite all those sanctions that have been imposed by World Bank, the United Nations, the European Union, the France, led by France, all these international organizations, what they did is Niger have sent their own, their newly appointed ambassador to the United Nations. But France, because they are a member of the United Nations Security Council, they have a permanent seat. Because of them, they have been deprived of their right to speak in front of those world leaders, which is a freedom, a right granted to all sovereign countries in the world who are members of the United Nations. Guess what happened? The Malian Prime Minister went on and spoke on behalf of Niger. This is representation. This is brotherhood. This is being a brother's keeper. So really, if you see that all these amazing actions that have been taken to defend each other of this country, one another, you will not be surprised if these countries decide to unite or to form a federation. Okay, now fast forward, what happened now is why it is a news all over is that because on December 1st, these countries have announced the country's economy and finance ministers who met on late November, advised creating a stabilization fund, an investment bank, and a committee that would study an economic and monetary union. You see, they have been paving the way even to integrate economically before they announced their unity. Okay, this happened in November. Now, what happened in December? This is exactly how the social media, everyone picked it and talked about it. But there have been a number of things that happened before that led to this. So what happened now, this is on beginning of December, the Malian Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop said the recommendations will be submitted to each head of state who are due to meet in Bamako. The date is not specified, but now it is the ministers who have made it. Is the proposition of this unity is discussed by these ministers, but now it will be submitted to the heads of states. Of course, this will not come into the discussion of these ministers without the knowledge of the heads of state, but that is the procedure, the formal procedure. So they will announce. I'm very sure that these countries, the heads of states, will come again and announce the formation of the unity or the federation of these three Sahel states. And these are, I just want to display once again the leaders of these amazing countries, really, that we have been watching for the past 2 years. Okay, these are my favorite leaders. Now the whole world is watching them. Why I am not there? Okay, just a second. I'm gonna be there. I just want to display it for. Now this is it. So these are the leaders actually who have announced it, and these are really, I mean, if you are an African citizen, really, if you are a Pan-African, you should not be that citizen that's going to talk about that, there was this and this Pan-African leader, but guess what? This CIA or MI6 or any, all those colonizers, intelligence unit have assassinated. No, I don't want to be that storyteller to my children. I don't want to be that person to bring that bad news, because I want to be part of this process. I want to show a support, in whatever way I can. This is a platform that I have created, a Pan-African platform. So I'm going to talk about, everything that is happening in these countries and giving it a Pan-African perspective. So I'm doing my due diligence, and you have to do your own, please. You do not, you don't have to be, especially in these times where all the information is available, that you are, again, that citizen like to tell, like Thomas Sankara and others, like Kwame Nkrumah, to say that, oh, there was this Pan-African leader, but he has been assassinated or she has been assassinated. No, be part of it so that these people's aim, these people's goal can be achieved. That's my message to you. But finally, before I close, I have a question, for you, as I always do, so that you go ahead and you put it in the comment section, your thought on this. Okay. So my questions to you are: number one, what do you think of these Sahel states forming an alliance of all this all-rounded pact, security-wise, economic-wise, in socio-cultural wise? Number two, do you think this will serve as a precedent for other regional economic commissions like Eastern African Community, the Western African Community, ECOWAS, the SADC, the Central African, the North Africa? Let us know if this can be used as a precedent. Now, number three, which RECs, meaning these regional economic communities or neighboring countries, will be next in your view, in terms of forming a unity or unilateral unity, meaning regardless of the African Union or whatever, that which countries are most likely to form this kind of unity following these three countries? The final question is that what would you like to see next in these revolutionary Sahel states, namely Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? Go ahead, and leave your thoughts in the comment section, because that will help us to bring the next level of discussion. So please go ahead and leave your thoughts. Thank you very much again. For me, that was it regarding this good news. So please do not hesitate, to suggest topics, to share your views, your thoughts on this, related to this or other things that that's happening in the continent or globally that affects the continent. But finally, I want to say also, please, if you're not a member, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also hit that, notification bell, so that you will be notified whenever there is a video uploaded or when there is a live stream. And also, if you like what we bring you here, give it a like. If you like also the information, let's empower each other with information and knowledge. So share the video with your network. So thank you very much. That was it for me. I will see you on the next one. It's a bye-bye for me. Ciao.